Hey, it's Bridgette. Welcome to Sunday afternoon tea with Bridgette. See, I got tea. I got tea. See? hmm Okay, so let me check to make sure my audio is working. Sitting in my bed, so it's not the best lighting, but whatever. I'm comfortable and I'm tired. It's been a full day already. So, okay, so let's see. Let's just make sure. Hi, how are you? Okay. Let's just see. Let's see if this is working okay. We are live. Let's make sure everybody can see. Let's just make sure. Okay, here we go. Got to just change a setting here. There we go. All right. So now let's see. It'll take just a bit for people to pop in, but I'm going to get started. All right. Now let's see, make sure we're on live stream. This is Sunday. Usually it's Sunday morning coffee with Bridgette. Now it's Sunday afternoon tea because it's late in the day. It's about 4 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, the 12th of March. Oh, there we are. Good. Okay, let's just check our sound. When you shop Wayfair. Oh, so many ads. I'm listening to see. Oh, good. It works. Okay, great. Perfect. All right. Hi, it's Bridgette. Welcome to Sunday afternoon tea today. I've got my mug from Disney World. See? It's iridescent. It's kind of a pretty pearlized vibe going on. It's actually tea. It's a Moroccan green mint tea. It's really good. From Trader Joe's, if you have that, you can run out and grab your own. This morning, I was working at the coffee shop and I ended up staying later. If you watch me on Instagram or have heard me talk, I'm here on Above Life channel. I actually work at a coffee shop part-time, about 15 hours a week. It's really fun. I enjoy it. It's fast-paced, it's intense, it's a lot. And on a Sunday, it's really, really busy. So I ended up staying later than anticipated. And I went early and it's daylight savings time here in the US. And so kind of messes with you, it messes with you. It feels like it's the clock is later than it feels, so I had to get up early, and then tomorrow I have to work again, so I don't mind being early, it's fine. Hi, welcome in the chat, nice to see you. Hello. Hi. Hi there, and if you're watching on the live stream, hey, thanks for joining me, and if you're popping in later at another time, great. All right, so today I actually recorded a Sunday morning coffee podcast yesterday, and I just didn't wanna share it, and you guys, that happens a lot. Like, I will record something and I'll talk a lot and I'll share, like, my diary kind of vibes with you, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, do I really like, are you gonna get enough out of this? Is it just about me? Is it about you?" So I really do think a lot about the topics that I share, and I want to share things that are coming up in my intuitive sessions. I do private session work as well, both as a psychic medium and as a life coach, and there are often reoccurring themes or patterns. So, um, and yesterday I channeled our celebrity for tomorrow, and that is kind of pushing the theme today. I did want to talk about um, a little bit about depression. So the topic of this Sunday afternoon tea might be depression, but it might also be really about getting the help that you need without shame or without feeling less than. Because our wellness is extremely important. It's not just your physical body that you need to take care of, it's also your emotional well being and your mental well being. And the mental and emotional piece is extraordinarily challenging. I know because I work with people who it's always about that longest journey you'll ever take is between your head and your heart, or your heart and your head. And a lot of intuitive work or energy work comes in to really help those two parts of you work together and get along. And that's challenging. That's where the core of our relationships really are bringing in us our most contrast is between our mind, our rational thinking brain, and our heart, the way we feel and the way we process or understand what our feelings are. So I want to talk a little bit about depression because this is going to be relevant to tomorrow's channeling video. I channeled an afterlife celebrity that dealt with depression and who was a high functioning person. So there are people who have high functioning depression which means sometimes you have bouts of it where like there's times when it's low and you'll go through a 3-week period, a 3-month period, a season where you're more tired, you're lackluster, it's less motivating, it's hard to stay on track and stay focused with things. You just don't feel as good. You might not have your healthy habits that you normally would have because you're in a bout of or a round of depression. And yet you might be so high functioning that you really can focus on and compartmentalize what you need to do, like go to work, take care of the kids, etc. But then in the off times or the what would be considered like down times, you're really down, like you're low. And oftentimes those times can be late at night or early in the morning. So there are a lot of people with high functioning depression, and depression can be situational or it can be something that is a pattern that shows up in your life. Now, because of the trauma that we've all collectively experienced as a society with the pandemic that forced us into massive change and restructuring of our lives for a temporary, what we thought was temporary. And then for some, it was massive changes after. And for others, now we're just starting to trickle into 3 years later, the actual effects or impacts of it are finally showing up. And so um, I, I'm not blaming the pandemic, but I'm saying that just raised the awareness, I think, of how much we just put up with and just keep going, keep powering through, keep showing up, just keep doing it, just keep doing it. We're not machines, people. We're incredible, miraculous beings of light, energy, of matter, and all of those things working together is quite amazing and does take an awareness of you in order to make your body, mind, heart, and soul work together in order to co-create with your mind and your heart, your spirit and your body, this life experience. And so I wanted to share about this. I've been wanting to share about this for a while, and I hope that I can have more real and authentic conversations with you in the future about this topic under the umbrella of mental health and wellness, but also specifically with depression, because I have shared, at least in my, blogs and videos when I had my Fairy Grasshopper channel, which I still have a Fairy Grasshopper channel. It's just more of an archive now. You can see Fairy Grasshopper if you wanna look at that up, learn about me from my past experiences, stuff about intuition that I've shared and all that. You can go there. But if you know a little bit about me, you know that have talked about having anxiety before, and I've actually been treated or I've had actual medication from a doctor for about I think it was about 8, 9-month period right after I had a massive life change when my oldest child, I have 4 kids, so my oldest one went to college and I was really super duper worried about her and worried about the money. I was so stressed about it. It was a whole thing. And then after that first semester, that's when COVID hit and it was a whole thing. But anyway, so I actually went on medication and I was formally diagnosed with anxiety. And it wasn't situational necessarily. I mean, that was what the trigger was, but I've always had anxiety. I've always been an anxious running person. I've always had a lot of energy. that is amplified worry, energy, and stress has really impacted me a lot in my life. Over the course of my life, I can look back and go, oh my gosh, so obvious. So obvious I've had anxiety. So learning to manage that in healthy ways is something that I've done. And for the most part, I'm pretty decent at it. I know foods that can trigger. Sorry, guys, I'm sitting on my bed, so I'm like a little uncomfortable because I've been working all day, so my back is a little sore. So you're gonna see me wiggly. I'm gonna be wiggly and jiggly. Um, and so I've done things like EFT tapping, meditation, yoga, exercise, lifting weights, walking, um, just different kinds of things to help, using essential oils to help with my anxiety, and food. Food is a huge thing I can use, and also supplements as well, right? And I've also been to a naturopath also for that. So I did go on medication, formal like prescription medication for a while, and then I didn't need it, and then so I was done with that. It was fine. And so then, related to the topic of depression, this last year and a half has been a doozy, and I've talked about it a little bit. I've talked around it a little bit because it's my personal life, my private life, and other people are involved. So I want to be really super respectful of my current relationships and things, my family, and as well. And so I have shared though it's been hard. I've been going through massive, what some people would be like, oh, dark night of the soul. It's this is way different than that. Okay. This is like rebirthing yourself kind of vibes. And I've had times when I have had moments where I have been so low. I have never felt so bad in my life. Like I have felt like I am bad, not this, I feel bad, but I am bad, which is a total difference. I feel bad, that's one thing, but I am bad is another whole another ballgame. That's like guilt and shame and all sorts of stuff piled onto you, like weighted blankets where you cannot get out of that. You can't get out from under it. And I thought like I would have these experiences for the last few months off and on, and two times super bad where I was like, do I even want to exist? Like, what is the point of this? Where I just disconnected so much, like, there's layers of disconnect you go through when you're not feeling healthy and when you're, like, in stress mode, over stress or hypervigilant mode, like fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, beyond that. I'm not talking freeze, and I'm not talking run. I'm talking it's worse than that. Like, if I get to a place where I'm disconnecting, like I don't wanna feel or I feel numb, that is a huge red flag for me. And so I'm like, wow. So usually I think, oh, that's a lot of stress and I'm anxious, but I'm so anxious that I can't even feel it anymore. It's just intense. And it's just, I'm used to the intensity. And so I just can't even, I just don't feel it anymore. It's like, whatever. But I know because I can't focus. Okay. It was kind of like that, but it was different. So I had this experience in August last year, at the near the end of August, right after I had COVID. And after my trip to Disney, after I had COVID, I had that little experience like that, kinda I was like, "Wow, this is really deep and dark, more shadow than I've felt before, more heavier energy." It just feels like walking through mud, and it's not even walking, it's like it's up to my neck, and I can barely, like, I'm trying to wade through mud. That's how it feels. And then it only lasted like a day or 2 or kinda thing, and then I kinda pulled myself out of it, talking to friends and stuff. I'm like, "Okay, I just had a down day," but it was really down. Wow, that was intense. And I'm like, "I don't have any spiritual attachments. This isn't an energetic thing. What's going on?" "Wow, that was weird." And so then it happened again, last year, around the holidays, I think in, November, it happened. And then in January or December, it happened again, and then in January, it happened in the 2nd week of January, like, right around the 10th or so, 15th, something like that. And I actually had a friend of mine who I know really, really well, who's also an intuitive, psychic, shaman, and who's a good friend of mine, been a friend of mine for 10 years, and she reflected back to me because 'cause we'd been talking off and on and stuff, and she reflected back to me how she was concerned because she said, "I've never felt you like this before." And she's like, "You're carrying a lot of darkness that isn't yours. Like, you're really taking on everybody's feelings about your circumstance and your situation, and you're making them all your own, like, you have to, bear this cross kind of a vibe, and as though if you feel bad enough, then they won't feel as bad, but that's not how it works. And she said, "You know that, and she's like, "I'm really concerned because I would have times when I was like, okay, I can do this. Like in the morning, I'm like, I can do this. This is good. I feel productive and blah, 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 blah. And then by like 12 or 1 o'clock, I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle life. Okay. Everybody needs to just go away." And then it would get really bad at night. Like I would just feel so sad, like this intense sadness. And it would like take me off guard. It would surprise me. I'm like, what is happening? All of a sudden I get so sad. And granted, the life circumstances and the massive change that's happening in my life right now, the huge overhaul that's happening, that would warrant feeling sad and grief. And I've been dealing with grief for months and dealing with sadness for months, but not to this level. I'm telling you, it was so much, you guys, where I got to 2 points, really low points last year. Again, when I can't remember the exact date, it was either November or December. And then again in January, where I was like, I don't want to live like this. And I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I know I have kids. I know I can't just abandon them and leave, as in leave my body. Okay. It was that serious. And I really felt like, is this life worth it? Is it worth it? You know? And I wouldn't say I was over that edge or anything, but I was damn close to it and close to looking over it to start thinking about what would that be like if I wasn't here. And when I started to have those feelings, I was like, oh my God, I need help. And so then I reached out and talked to my friends and my friend. And then I told my counselor. I had recognized that changed my eating habits, that I wasn't eating at all. Like I just wasn't eating. I'm like, it's like I just wanted to disappear. And I lost a tremendous amount of weight, which I did anyway. And I always do when I'm stressed out, but I lost a lot. At my lowest, I was 118 pounds and I'm almost 5'9". Okay. I know that's gross. If your body type isn't the type that is normally like that, really, really skinny, but that's not normal for me, okay? That's not normal. That's not healthy. And I'm like, this is dangerous, and I know it. I'm in a place that I'm not really connecting. I'm letting go of my body. I'm letting go of my emotions. I just can't handle this stuff anymore. I don't know what to do about it. And it's like taking me over. And so I talked to my counselor, talked to my friend, and then I started to reach out and get help. Like, went to my acupuncturist to clear the energy. I talked to the homeopath and said, "Look, this is the symptoms I'm having right now." I had already been on a 4-month plan trying to gain weight. And I said, "Here's the symptoms I'm having right now. I'm still not eating. I have no desire to eat. I need help. I need like a schedule." So I had a schedule where I set my alarm and I would eat specific things at specific times so that I would start to find a regular just pattern. Just do it. And without thinking about it, just do it. And that's been going well for the last month. And I called the doctor and got medicine. So I got medication for depression. And I cannot tell you how unbelievably different I felt after like a week on the meds. I was like, oh my God. This is the reason why there's medication, because for months, for like 4 or 5 months before that, I had been on seeing a naturopathic person that gave me supplements for that, for depression and anxiety, for both, because I knew my moods were low already. And just because of all the stress, like stuff to help my adrenal glands, stuff to help the cortisol levels in my body, stuff to help my liver, stuff to help my digestive tract because of all the neurotransmitters and all that. Okay. So like I was doing all of that. Okay. And still wasn't enough. And so I got medication and it has been amazing. It's been amazing. Like, I want to eat now. All of a sudden, I like food again. I've been eating candy bars, and I'm loving it, and eating like actual meals, like a full, like actual meal, not just like a tiny little bite of this or a tiny little bite of that, just because I have to eat something. And it's been kind of weird. Like I'm rediscovering things again. and I'm feeling more like myself. So I'm coming out of this darkness. And the doctor said, "Well, it's situational." He really felt, he's like, "Yeah, I feel like this, given all the things that are going on for you." He's like, "Wow, okay." Like thinking, "Okay, yeah, you do. Yes, 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 definitely. Let's try some medicine." And lucky for me, it worked right away. So I wanted to talk about this because I think it's extraordinarily important to make mental health normalized and to recognize that even somebody like me who like works in healing energies and I know healing modalities, I know all that stuff. You guys, I have access to a lot of incredible things spiritually and in the human form. I am privileged. I have great health insurance. I have access to counselors and coaches and doctors, and I am privileged. So I have that, right? But even with that, there is a concern because my livelihood is as a coach, a life coach, and a psychic medium. And there's a concern that if I share with you that I am having and have had experience with depression, like who wants a life coach that's like depressed? And now I'm like, damn right I do. I want a counselor that knows what the fuck it feels like to feel like shit. And not somebody that's like, oh, my life is so perfect and everything is lovely. You know, I want somebody that's like, "Yeah, I'm real. Yeah, it's hard sometimes. Okay, so what can we do about it? Here's some tools. What's gonna work right now? Let's try this. Oh, that doesn't work? Well, let's try this. Does that work? Okay, good. Let's do that then." Knowing that the next 2 days could be totally different things that will work, and that thing that helped you before isn't gonna help you this time. Like that. Like willing to figure it out, you know? So I thought it was really, really super important to do that because it's normal. So many people are so depressed, so anxiety ridden, so stress amplified that that's why people are crabby. That's why people are doing crazy things. That's why people are getting involved in like weird conversations online and in groups that are like not their normal, they're not thinking clearly, not the normal vibe of things because they need an outlet, they need something to blame because it can't be them because they're fine, right? It's the world out there instead of ourselves, right? So taking accountability and responsibility and acknowledging that, hey, yeah, I'm not okay. And I want to be okay is a big deal. So I can also say that, because have been extraordinarily high functioning as a depressed person, I've gotten so much joy and positive energy just from talking to you. So my sessions have been amazing for me the last few months. Oh my God. I have the best clients ever. It gets me in alignment with my purpose. It feels so good. I can't help but feel the amazing energy of the angels and your healing helpers when we're having conversations, whether we're talking about your relationship or your job change or whatever's going on in your life, your health. I just feel so on purpose and I feel so good. And I think there's a myth that people who are depressed are just walking around in their robes or never leaving the house. No, that's not how it is necessarily. And you're not depressed all the time, every minute of every day. You can still find joy in something, or you can still find appreciation or gratitude for something. And for me, it's been my work, you guys, and showing up every week on Sunday morning coffee and showing up every week and doing the channeling videos and having my private sessions with you has been incredible. And so I want to share that. Okay. I want to share that because like depression isn't a disability. It's a normal thing that can happen to anyone for any reason at any given time. If you lose someone, if you're grieving and you've lost your spouse or you've lost a parent or a friend or a child, you could very easily be in depression. You could also just be in depression because you are an empath and overextended in the heart space because of all the COVID stuff. You might be a teacher or a nurse or in a profession that you are just so fatigued, compassion fatigue and all that, that you could feel extraordinarily depressed. So get the help that you need. You can find support groups online. There's 1-800 numbers. You can create a safety plan, which I would highly recommend. In the video tomorrow, we talked about that a little bit, he and I. A safety plan is something simple like putting a contact, taking your phone and making a contact that's called safe or whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want. but where you go and you open the contact, and when you open it in the notes, it says 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what you do when you're feeling really, really bad. Call this person, call this 1-800 number, like whatever your safety plan is. It might be call this number on the Trevor Project. It's like free counseling, free access to counseling stuff. Or it might be call my friend. If they're not available, call this friend. If they're not available, call the counselor. If they're not available, call, that kind of thing, to make sure you have support. And it might just be trying to get you out of the mindset that you're in, to break them. All you have to do is break the thought. It's so simple. Just break the thought. It might be stand up, go outside. It might be something like that too, not just necessarily resources or people. It might be things to do to just change, shift your mindset. That's all it takes. It's hardest for me. It was hardest at night. Yeah. It was really, really tough at night. Mhm. It was a big deal. I stopped reading my comments on my posts and stuff. And I dialed back my posting. Because there was so much energy and information coming through, and a lot of kind of out there stuff too that would come in. And so I'm just like, I just have to not let that even come in, because it's too much additional pressure. Do you know what I mean? So it really is about the focus on you and loving yourself. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to accept yourself as an imperfect human being. And I think most of us are still trying to do that. It's hard. It can be really hard because we're not taught any of this stuff. Like, we have no idea. We're taught to prove ourselves, to get approval, to be perfect, to be the best, to be super reliable, that loyal person that no matter what, I can count on you, whether it be at work, whether it be at school, whether it be in your organizations that you belong to, or in your church, or whatever, right? We can count on you, can't we? Yeah. And you can't say no. And sooner or later, you just erode yourself from the inside out, just feeling like not enough. That's enough to make anybody depressed. So I wanted to talk about this topic because I think it's extraordinarily important, and it's normal. It's normal. And I'm feeling a lot better right now. I'm not out of the woods. I definitely have a lot ahead of me, and decisions and choices I need to make for my life that, that's part of why I got the job at the cafe, to kind of get some perspective, to learn a new skill, and to get some perspective, like get out in the world again, be a little social, know what it's like if I could, to support myself in a way besides my business, because my business ebbs and flows, just like with you guys, the economy. I have not had enough clients to be able to pay the mortgage. So I need to be realistic about that, and, think ahead and have some backup plans and things like that, so I don't get stressed about money or anything like that, and so I can sustain myself and take care of myself, because I'm gonna need to be able to do that. So there's a lot of things at play, and I'm sure for many of you, you've either dealt with depression, anxiety, some other kind of mental health challenge, maybe bipolarism, or impulsivity, or an addiction. All this is natural. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with you, but it feels like there is. It feels, there's some, I want to say there's nothing wrong with you. You just are functioning in a different way, and have to learn how to be flexible and to adapt to the needs that you have. And we're so not used to adapting to our own needs or identifying our own needs. And that's, I think, what part of mental health and wellness, mental wellness is about, is identifying what we need, and then taking steps and measures to align with being able to receive getting those needs met, without doing the things like manipulating people, or playing games, or acting a victim, or playing a martyr, or playing a role so that those needs get met. Just legitimately meeting our needs, like in normal, communicative, I need this ways. I think that's a huge part of why mental health and mental wellness is such a thing right now, is because we need to start taking better care of ourselves, so then we can be more contributing in society and community, in the family units that we're in, and the schools we're in the organizations we belong to, and in the companies that we are in. Yeah, so it benefits everyone, right? But you gotta start with yourself, so that's what I think. I've certainly been learning how to receive a lot more, and lucky for me, I've created a lot of support for myself, so I do have, like, safety nets. I didn't have those before. Mm-mm. I made a conscious choice, like, 2 years ago that I wanted to have more friends, and I wanted to deepen my friendships, and it's a good thing I did because I really have needed them, and some of them are watching now. And I love you guys, and I really, really super appreciate you, like, so much. So, that's that. However you handle or deal with your depression is up to you. Like I said, I went the naturopathic route for quite some time, and it wasn't enough for me, and so then I went to a doctor, just a regular medical doctor was able to prescribe. I didn't have to go to a psychiatrist, but I am under the care of, like, a psychologist, a family psychologist, and then also I have another, counselor in addition, a specialist counselor for me as well, and so, yeah. Yeah, and now I'm also going to the doctor again this week too for the physical parts of what has happened because I haven't taken care of myself. The stress has really taken a toll on me. So I'm going for some blood tests and things like that to check all the hormone levels in my body, thyroid, and all that stuff to make sure that everything is in alignment and to be as healthy as I can be too. So I'm really taking care of myself. And I want you guys to know that too, that you deserve that as well. Okay. So if you haven't had those doctor appointments you need to have, those annual exams, those checkups, do that. That's a great form of self love. If you've been digging on yourself because you've been tired more than normal, there might be a reason for that. You might be feeling depressed. There's a lot of different resources. Again, here's just a few. EFT tapping, check out the tappingsolution.com. Start doing that. Do that for like 7 days, maybe even 5 days. You will notice a difference. Maybe try some yoga if you're not deep into like big time yoga. Try Yoga by Adriene. Do chair yoga. You can Google that up on YouTube. It's all free. Again, Yoga by Adriene is the best. I love her. She's regular yoga, but you can just do like the 10-minute thing and adapt. Um, those are 2 really good things. Then, of course, there's lots of meditations you can do. There's lots of free meditations online. There's different types of meditations that might be helpful to you. Um, I'm trying to think of the ones that I use the most. They're probably ones you guys wouldn't even have heard of, actually. Deepak Chopra has meditations. Chopra Center, Chopra Chopra Center has meditations. On YouTube, there's a bunch of those. Those would be good. You could try that as well. And then also, I super encourage you to please just go to a counselor. Just check in with somebody, a therapist, a counselor, a social worker. You don't have to go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist or anything like that. You can just start with a counselor. You could go to a counseling group online based upon the topic that you're dealing with. If it's a health thing, like maybe you have lupus, then join a group with that other people that have lupus, just to feel like you're not alone. Because one of the biggest things I think during the depression part for me has been feeling alone, the loneliness part, the isolation part. That's what you want, but that gets amplified and it just feels like more and more mud. And then you're trying to wade through the mud. It's just hard. And then you just feel so sad. Like that's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. And it got better in the morning and then at night it would get worse. It's just the thing. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about this. Thanks so much for listening to my Sunday afternoon tea. I want to take a moment here for those of you who are on the live stream chat. I want to say hello to you on this Sunday afternoon. Oh, let me get my glasses on. Yeah, I'm sitting in my bed right now. Probably not the best position since I've been working all day and I had to come home and take Tylenol for this body. For my back is a little sore, but let me just say hello to you guys in the chat. Also, if you're watching on the live stream, there's a thing called Super Chat. You can actually click on the little button. It's like a little dollar sign thing, and you can tip me. Yeah, you can purchase my next cup of tea if you'd like. You can do that. That's ways you can support the channel. You can also support me and my work. After this video is posted, there will be information in the description, just like with any of the videos on Above Life channel, of how to get a couple of the different services I provide. I offer private sessions in addition to, I also am doing some actual old school readings. So you'll have to read that and see if that strikes your fancy. Recorded video readings for you. So take a look at that and see what you think. All right. Hi. Hello. You've been binge watching my videos. Oh, thank you. Smiths, it looks like. Hi, Heidi. Nice to see you. Let me just see here. The Piratess. Oh, hello. Hello, Elizabeth. Hi, Troy. Hello to the Netherlands. Oh, somebody's asking what medication did I get on? Lexapro. It's a generic form of Lexapro, but I also have other people that I know really well, and in the past, I've been on Zoloft. That was the first time. That was the first anxiety med I went on was Zoloft, but it didn't help as much as I think the Lexapro helps. So less side effects on Lexapro for me personally, because it does mess with your belly, your stomach. Oh my goodness, and it makes you tired at first, but after a while, it's manageable. Not Lexapro, but Zoloft for me. Hi, Lisa. Nice to see you, Lisa from Florida. Oh, I am strong. Thank you so much. Hmm. Oh, hey, Lisa P. Nice to see you. Yeah, there's lots of different kinds of medications. Talk to your doctor about what could be right for you. Yeah. Don't self-medicate. Highly do not recommend that. I've tried that with anxiety. I tried to self-medicate. A glass of wine sure relaxed me for a while, but it really messes you up. The sugar intake on that and the after effects, and it messes with your sleep, and it's just not worth it. Don't do it. I do not recommend that. Like at all. It's not worth it. It's awful. It's awful. Don't do it. All right. All right, my friends. Oh, let's see. Oh, Quinette, hello. Nice to see you, my dear. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling better today. Like I said, I'm high functioning. I've been working in a cafe since the middle of January, and that was the last time I had a really low time and then decided I needed help. So I've been doing pretty good. Plus, I also went on a trip and I turned 50, and you've seen all my videos. It's not fake. When I'm happy and I'm uplifting and I'm positive, I'm feeling that way. I'm not pretending, but it does take everything in me sometimes to do the video or to have 2 sessions in a day. Whereas before I could easily do 3 or 4 sessions in a day, I've only been able to do like two, which has been fine because I don't really have that many clients right now. It doesn't seem like. I don't know if people are just like financially not booking sessions or if people maybe just think that I'm really busy because I think that might be the case. I think people think like I'm super busy. I'm not. I'm not right now. I don't have tons and tons of clients right now. I just don't. So I'm happy to welcome in some more. Okay, let's see. All right, guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching Above Life channel and supporting the work that I do. I love it. It inspires my spirit and fills me with hope. And I hope that it does that for you as well. Make sure you check out tomorrow's video. I think some of you will appreciate the man that I'm channeling. He died in the last few months, we'll say. And he dealt with depression. We'll say that as well. All right. Okay. Thanks so much for watching Above Life channel. Remember, my friends, this is your life. It's yours. It's your life. And you get to live it. Just live it. Thanks for watching.